Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Frontlines podcast. I'm your host, Tim Sackett. My co-host, Madeline's not here today, but I brought in some talent to begin with, so we'll get right into it. Chris, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody, the millions of listeners we have worldwide?
Yeah, you bet. Chris Bodlevic. I have strategy systems and TA at Discount Tire. My path was through Cisco Systems and Amazon, and I found myself here about 5 years ago.
Yeah. So are you guys headquartered out of like Arizona, Phoenix area, or
Scottsdale.
just and that's Scottsdale? So that's where you're headed. Have you been
Orig-
there for? Are you like a lifelong
Uh,
Scottsdale person?
Sorry, say that again.
Are you like a lifelong Scottsdale person?
No. I was in
Oh,
Seattle for 40 plus years.
oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a
So,
huge change.
yeah, big change for sure.
Do you like it?
I do like it. This state actually is a lot more diverse than I ever thought. Came here a few times golfing, never thought much of it. Like just
Yeah.
a hot place, but it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I like the desert, like dry climate, sunny. Like I'm like, how can I like feel bad about this? Like I'm in Michigan, so it's like gray and crappy most of the time. So,
Well, that's where we were founded, Ann Arbor. So I guess
I know it's crazy because they have like discount tires out of Ann Arbor. I think Bell Tire was also out of Detroit too, right? I
yeah.
think it's.
Honestly, not the thoroughbred tire guy, but yeah,
I always think it's funny though how like competition kind of breeds more competition when like one place, like all the pizza places, you have like Domino's and Little Caesars. Like again, like they kind of grew up next to each other for the most part. It's crazy.
yeah. I mean, we have a lot of regional competition, mom and pop. There's some that have been acquiring that trying to play broader in the space nationwide, but we
Yeah,
pretty much dominate as far
yeah.
as in the U.S. for sure.
Well, I'm definitely a customer. I can't tell you. Like I like having three sons that are all grown ass men at this point. Like the amount of tires I've had to buy for cars over the years has been insane. So I've been at plenty of discount tire like locations.
Absolutely.
Chris, we start every pod off with a question, which is, what was your first frontline kind of hourly hiring job?
Uh, to be honest, probably tangential was at Amazon for our warehouses. Um, that was more of a how do we support the employees coming in, not the direct hiring. This was probably the first job I had that supported frontline hiring directly.
No, I meant like you personally, like hourly job that you worked, like
Oh,
16 years old. What was your first hourly
sorry.
job? Yeah.
Uh, I I was bored during the summer. I walked into a pet shop. I thought I wanted to be a veterinarian. The owner, I'm like, hey, can I work just for free for the summer, just because I want something to do? And he's
How
like, are
how
you?
old were you?
I was like 15. He's like,
Okay.
I can't. I don't know if I can really hire till he's 16, but I sure like
Yeah.
weird. But he said sure. So I worked for like 2 months, I guess. He handed me $100 bill when I was done the summer. I was like, that was like gold. I was like, are you kidding me? Like it was a fortune. And he said, hey, you want to? I'd love to hire you after school while you're going or whatever, and weekends. I said,
Nice.
I'm in. I worked for him all the way through. I had three jobs during college actually, but I worked for him for 4.5, 5 years.
Isn't that crazy how like you just like show up and go, oh, okay. Was it like is like a pet store like where they had actual live pets too, or like it was just like all the like
No, it
material?
was it was everything. Dogs, cats, the at that time, crazy exotic, uh, reptiles that could kill you and monkeys and yeah, and he just kind of turned me loose. He let me kind of do whatever I wanted to do and he almost treated me more like a son. Occasionally I'd find myself working on his car too. But
Oh yeah.
no, it was a blast. The gal that started working there with me literally is still there.
That's insane.
I can't
I
even.
literally I believe I tell myself all the time I believe, and I thought it was like USA Today. Remember when USA Today the paper would have in the bottom corner they would always have like some little crazy graphic metric. It would be like, 97% of people get married to their cousin or some stupid thing that, it's like you're just like, "Oh my god, this is crazy." And I believe, and again, like I totally believe I read it like that 85% of hourly workers will only work hourly work their entire career. And I'm like, to me, that's a crazy stat. So then I started getting into Claude and GPT and all these, like trying to find, I'm like, I need a reference for this. I know it's true. And they're just like, dude, it's not, it's not true. Now, the one thing they said, they go, you might have misinterpreted. It's like 80% of hourly workers will only work an hourly job. They'll never get promoted from like within to like a management leadership job because of college education and the
Sure.
financial aspects, all that stuff. So that might be the case, but I'm always like, I'm like, I meet people like the lady that you started with, and like you go, man, 40 years, 50 years. And I've like, I worked retail in TA and HR for a long time. And I would run into these women that would work in our stores that they started when they were 16, 17, 18 years old, and they would retire. And they've worked that job. They've got married, kids, husband died. Like their entire life was spent in this store. I'm like, wow, that's crazy to me.
That's Joni. And our commute, Sultan to Kenmore. That's no short drive, and she's done that literally her whole life. Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
it's pretty crazy. It's
Crazy
funny
to
though. You
me.
say that like moving from hourly to some salary job. My transition was literally because was at Safeco Insurance Company because I wouldn't wear a suit. I
So
was
they
like,
said, no, you can't get promoted.
if you're going to get promoted, you should really consider wearing a suit like everyone else. I'm like, my job description doesn't require it. And they said, but it would be better for you. And I'm like, if I'm going to get promoted because I wear a suit, I want to work here.
Yeah.
So then they promoted me, and then I'm still, yeah, but you still didn't meet the criteria. So after I was promoted to a salaried job, I quit 2 months later and went to Cisco.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
So I'll never have to wear a suit for sure.
Exactly.
I same thing. Like my first job out of college was recruiting, and like I had to wear a suit and tie to come to it like a cube and sit in a cube all day long. Like I never, like we knew you were never out seeing customers, and but somehow you had to show up in a suit and tie. Like it was the dumbest thing ever. Like I hated it. So, like I literally had a new hire grad come in that gotten referred to me, and they're like, "Oh, go meet with Tim. He can give you some advice or whatever." I'm like, "Oh yeah, like set up some time." He came into the office and he comes in and he's got like the shirt and tie, and I have like literally a polo shirt and shorts on. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I should have told you.
Yeah.
I got one suit to my name, and it goes to weddings and funerals. That's the only thing. That's the only time I'm wearing that baby.
Well, having seen it all, at Safeco is interesting. Not only suit and tie, but it was like the bell rang. That was your 9 a.m. break, your 3 p.m. break, your lunch break. Like
Oh,
very like rigorous, right? And then, years later at Amazon, people are walking around in flip flops and PJ bottoms. It's like, what the
yeah,
hell?
yeah. And taking a nap in some cube at 3 p.m., knowing that they're going to be there until 11 p.m. doing
There
something
it
else,
is.
whatever. It's
100%.
like just kind of crazy, what kind of crazy work environment. So, give us a little bit of the layout of like Discount Tire in terms of like how many hourly hires, kind of what's your process. Like we're trying to teach people how to do this better. So give us a little laydown on what you guys do.
Yeah, you bet. So we have probably about 150,000-ish applicants that yield about 18,000 hires a year. Been working on the biggest thing since I got here probably is just attrition,
Yeah.
because that's the same story, different movie.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you start to look at kind of the triggers, especially after COVID, and a lot of the research that came out, people looking for just, some place that cares about them, like these more humanistic kind of things. It was interesting because you think about the highest attrition companies that I was running into, like FedEx drivers or whatever.
Yeah.
I won't I'll throw out percentages, but
Yeah.
don't hold me to them. But they, at one point maybe 250%.
Oh yeah.
Some people they're driving around by themselves all day long, no anything, right? Warehouses, same
Oh, I
kind of
can imagine like the Amazon driver turnover, like
leaderless
warehouse
buildings,
turnover. Like, oh, yeah.
100%, those were really high. So we kind of like focus on the culture was good, but we have an interesting problem because our problem was we have an hourly job that's very physical,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there's that dynamic. It's like, okay, I can change tires and get sweaty, dirty, and and sore in my as I
Yep.
build muscle,
Yeah.
or I
Yeah.
flip burgers for the same price or better, depending on what state you're in. So it's like, what's the value proposition kind of in that, right? And so our competition, because we don't require any prior knowledge, so we'll
You're gonna
train.
train them. Yeah,
Yeah,
train them up on it. Yeah.
so it's an interesting competition. So you got the McDonald's who look at technology as a how do I just get anyone in there as fast as humanly possible, and it could be in minutes.
Yeah.
So the Friday occasional looker, and our people come back in and look at a backlog already on a Monday, and it's like that's a problem. So our
Yeah.
time to kind of reach out to people and the ghosting that happens was really hard. So
Yeah.
it's like that was the fundamental problems. Like, how do we think of these as career oriented job? Because we have great stories to tell. Even at our conference, we had enterprise in the room, right? And they're kind of known
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
this leadership and training kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, how do you get that brand? Like, and so I think for us is, when we look at managers of our stores, like we call it getting the keys to the store.
Yeah.
And these aren't franchises; these are all just privately owned. But you
Yeah.
literally get the keys, and you're kind of uncapped in your earnings potential. And so we got managers
You're
make a lot of money.
yeah. How many locations do you have?
1,100 plus,
So
and
you have
growing.
like 1,100 small businesses, really. I mean, those guys are running their own business for the most part, right? They're running their own
Absolutely,
P&L. Yeah.
absolutely. And corporate services over the last probably decade is we've kind of refined because we have, it's more about how do we scale faster, better, those realities, right? So you
Yeah. Yeah.
can't be as probably rogue as maybe in the early days, just kind of grow up, right, in the
Yep.
company. But even still, a lot of autonomy
Yeah.
to get things done, you know.
Yeah. So
So
when you think about how you support like hiring at those locations, um, are you guys like, is the general manager still like, they're in charge of doing interviews and doing like, what's the process of them hiring?
yeah, so what we have two kind of paths. We'll have kind of the walk-in path, we call it. So
Mhm.
how do we just get out of their way? So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
someone just drops in, we don't want to impede progress. So
Yeah. Yeah. Send them. No, go outside and get on the computer and do that stuff. Yeah.
100%. So they can like do a quick scan of a QR in there. It automatically drops them in iSIMs.
Yeah.
They can conduct an interview done and push them to hire. Like they can do it as fast as they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
The normal flows, we've been trying to get away from a lot of the job, postings and things, and really rely on our own job sites and things.
Yeah.
So we've done a really good job at that. We've been really lowering the amount of people that we need to get in our pipeline for that. But we have a long way to go. And I think the long way to go for us is closing the gap of time to contact. It's the one that's
Yeah.
most important to me. And so we're looking at mainly a lot of our automation around how do we get into some kind of very humanistic conversational interface that can just meet people where they are
Yeah.
and just get them to these are likely. So when we're making phone calls, they're very deliberate phone calls. We're not getting rid of humans in that process.
Yep.
And what we found is, I think we're seeing things that other companies aren't. Like we have almost a 90% uptick on people at choosing that path. So he's like, you can choose this path or wait for a call. Everybody's
Yeah.
like choosing the path. The completion rate's at 88-ish, so only a few people just bail out.
Yeah.
The time they're doing it, some like all of a sudden you're an hour's worth of effort. And it's like, what's
Yeah.
going on there? Well, they started on Friday. I
Yeah.
got to make dinner for the kids. They come back to it. Like that's not a normal conversation with a recruiter, right? Hey, I can
No. Yeah.
go back after I'm done with dinner. I'm a little tired right now. So we found that I think it was 40 some odd percent of the people engaging are off hours for us.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
So it's like winning. So I think it's
Yeah.
just how do we make that secret sauce work better and how do we evolve it? So that's kind of the journey we're on with that. And the only other critical thing for that was, what do you ask? What's your intent through what are we inspecting for?
Yeah.
Now we spend a bunch of time with our AVPs in the field. And what we really wanted to do was, what are the kind of the natural attributes and criteria of which we want to really get to these humanistic things that are around, like intent. Like, are they career oriented? Do they like team challenges? Do they like these kinds of things that kind of start to give you a sense of what folks are looking for, and
Yeah.
can we meet the need, and does our value proposition meet theirs? And these managers, our average time is like 7.5 years. So you think about maybe a high schooler coming out, or even early in college, in
Yeah.
7 years could make really good money versus
I
what's going on with colleges now. They're afraid of the
I
future,
know.
like
Oh,
trade
yeah.
becoming a thing, right? Payback
Yeah.
to college institutions has always been a problem. So we have an interesting value proposition. I think we're close.
Yeah. I for years I actually had in my neighborhood that I lived in, and it was kind of your normal, upper suburban kind of neighborhood, nice houses and the manicured lawns. And two houses down from me was two managers of like Walmart. And the people had no idea how much money you can make managing a Walmart. And they were just like, they were like same thing. They had started at Walmart like right out of high school, kind of worked their way up, and then they were making six figures plus each, and they were just like, and people are just kind of like, holy crap, like you're in your 30s and you're like, you're living in the good neighborhood and doing all this like, and then when we were at Applebee's, same thing. Our general managers would make really, really good money, and you're just kind of like, people just kind of sleep on those jobs. I think primarily because they're like, well, you have to work a Saturday or a Sunday, you have to work nights or whatever, and you're like, well, yeah, but you're managing your business, so you could probably actually, you don't have to work every Saturday and Sunday, you don't have to work every night, like, it's like you can manage your schedule the way that you need to.
Yeah, yeah, and
It's
I think
crazy.
pay transparency is an interesting one too, because we don't really talk about like what managers can really do, or like, kind of conservative in that regard.
Yeah.
But you go to a Texas, and Bucky's has a sandwich board
Oh
out
yeah,
front,
yeah.
and
You can
well,
make $170,000 a year. You're like, what?
what the heck? Well, you can do anything in Texas, I guess. But it's like we almost feel disadvantaged by the fact that some get really bold with it. But I think compliance will start to solve some of those problems for everybody.
100%. Hey,
Um,
you started talking about like the retention turnover piece and how valuable that is. And I think it's one of those things I think that's lost in the talent acquisition discussion, because we always just think of hire more, 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 more. And I love saying like the best hire we've ever made is the one we don't have to, because we actually like kept somebody, right? Like
yes,
I
yes.
can be amazing in recruiting if I never have to hire because we've kept everybody. Have you found like any nuggets of wisdom as you guys are digging into this, trying to solve this? Is there certain things around those hourly jobs that are helping keep people longer?
Oh yeah, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
Commitment. I think commitment. Uh,
Commitment to what though? I mean, commitment to,
commitment
are
to
they their own?
yeah, commitment to, like, when I think when you have a value proposition that says we care about people, when we have these handshakes coming in. I'm a Midwest kid. I was
Yeah.
so there's this inherent thing in me that says when you handshake, that's your bond. You're good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
never one-sided hand. You can't have a one-sided handshake, right?
No.
So if we live like what we have on our website about who we are and our founder, and the amazing way in which he built this company, and our life principles and all these things, and integrity and honesty, will they experience it when they get here is the question. So
That's
when we
always, yeah,
handshake,
especially in a multi-unit environment, because you'll have some that are perfect and some that are not.
100%. And that's the golden string, right? They
Yeah.
should have that experience all the way through. It's like, wow, they really meant what they said all the way along. So when you have this handshake says, I'm going to give you 20 hours a week, 15 hours a week, or whatever, and it's like, 10 this week, guys, or whatever, and all of a sudden it's like, well, what the heck's going on? So the early research I did was start to look at what's the sweet spot where retention just peaks. It's like we get a blip. And strangely enough, it was at 21.2 hours. And we're like, interesting. Why in the heck 21.2? It's like such a
Yeah.
random number. But you start to think about it. What's 21? It's over half of 40. If someone's like, I have two part-time jobs, if I could get more
Trying to
hours with
manage
one,
all the
who are you going to pick?
schedules. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like so you go to 19, someone's giving 21. I'm going to bet that I'm going to get more with someone else, and I'm probably out. So there's
So
this
slightly over halftime. Yeah.
yeah, there's this common sense element, but then you start to dive deep into metrics, and you're like, whoa. Then you get to the oof. You got 22% of the organization that get 15 hours or less, and the attrition rate is 190%. And your
Yeah.
proficiency to get proficient on tires is XYZ. It's like
You're
you'll
not
never
working
actually do
enough.
it.
Yeah.
So our quotient, I think, is how do we do better workforce planning, getting those right people that are career oriented so we can give them the max hours to help fill our schedules and the appropriate timing. At the end
Yeah.
of the day, it was really a workforce planning.
Yeah. And I think it is like if you think about, and I've been on this train over the last couple of months as I've been out on the road, like talking with all these leaders about all like this kind of stuff is the scheduling piece is more problematic than we really want to realize to talent
Oh,
acquisition, to HR in general, because,
yeah.
and I always tell like you give like the normal, let's just say like I have to call a discount tire. I work there part time, but I have to miss, right? I'm sick or I have a sick child. I don't really want to miss because I need the money, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
so now I'm missing a schedule, but then also the manager's probably giving me grief because I'm missing. Oh my gosh, Saturday's our busy day. You can't call off on Saturday, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, I don't. And so now like I feel terrible, right? I feel terrible. I got to take care of my kid. I feel terrible. I'm missing money. I feel terrible because the manager's yelling at me. And the whole thing's like a terrible experience. And then I've been seeing these like AI scheduling tools come out where it's like, you text the AI and it's like, hey, I got to miss. I have a sick kid. And the AI is like so friendly. Like, oh my God, take care of your child. We'll find your replacement. Oh,
Business
and then,
impact.
and then by the way, do you want us to put you on the list to get you another shift to pick that up? And you're like, oh, of course. Like, this is great. Like, I can't believe it. And like those two different levels of experiences, one being real human and one being AI, are night and day.
Totally, totally. And it's also, you have I think you kind of get used to a certain way in which you've hired. So we traditionally have hired a lot of high school kids after hours, and you start to look at scheduling practices. So I think what you said is spot on. And we're actually doing a complete workforce management redo right now,
Yeah.
all new tooling. Because when you look at these causal relationships, it's like, man, stores get behind. It's like, okay, why? Well, don't worry about it. We've got all the kids coming in at 3 o'clock after school and we'll catch up again. Like, no, but why are you behind to begin with? Well,
Yeah.
because we didn't have AM scheduled people, so we got behind. It's like, well, how do we get AM scheduled people? Well, that's hard because high schoolers go to school in the morning. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Uh-huh.
we need a different person.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're not a valuable attribute to our company. They are. What I'm saying is it starts to change the mindset of the kind of person we're looking at.
Yeah.
Different jobs. You kind of look at the Penske modeling, which we do a lot. It's like these are very hard jobs. They're going to combines and getting elite athletes, right?
Yeah.
And they've got amazing hiring practices, but same kind of MO. It's like you don't get to show up late for pit crew,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I think there's these natural business realities that
Yeah.
when you start to really use metrics as an indicator, it's like, ooh, yeah, you have some unique problems to solve.
I always think too, like we just never have the time to get out and like go to the local high school or like, and they always have like the alternative high schools and stuff like going, hey, we have this problem, and like somebody would probably go, oh, we actually could actually move classes to the afternoon and we could have these kids come in the morning and work the AM shift, right? And like you're like, oh, we could do that. Well, yeah, we probably could if we would just all kind of communicate with each other, right? It's like,
It's funny you say that because you made me think when I was when I had TA at Cisco Systems, I was talking to our diversity VP at the time, and there was one of the gals in our Bellevue office who was like, I'm the only gal that is in engineering right now, like that I know of. Like there was very few. And you start to
yeah,
go, why is that? And it was a pretty systemic problem. It's like there just wasn't a lot of girls coming out of high school that wanted to get into engineering in the
yeah,
90s. And it's like to solve that problem, how do you get into the high school? So we built Cisco academies and we went into high schools and said, this is your earning potentials. And
yeah,
they're like, wait, what?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was what is now known as, I think, Ignite. I think it actually is still a thing, but it was founded up in Seattle. And similar kind of concepts we're doing here. We're actually going into I don't know if I can say it because it's getting announced here uh,
Okay.
quickly, but there is a school in the
Yeah.
Midwest area that we're branding and bringing in equipment so we can
Yeah.
start to figure out how to build these things and like towards trade, help with brand pipeline creation. We already have some skill sets to lower proficiency times. It's like
Yeah.
there are all kinds of those opportunities, I think.
And I think private industry tends to solve those problems better than government, like over history, right? Because it's like we see this in Michigan because all the big autos they had like, hey, we need skilled tradespeople. How do you get them? Like, well, give us some robots and stuff and put them in high schools and let these kids start to learn how to like repair these things and work on it. All of a sudden, you have people coming out with that interest. But before that, like if you didn't ever told them, they're like, oh no, every kid's going to college. Like that was the only path you had. It wasn't they weren't selling that. And now you have again, I think I hate to call them alternative high schools, but that's what they've been labeled as. I think it sucks. I think they should have everything in one school so that kid who wants to be an electrician can still go to school with his friends who don't
Yeah,
want to go be an electrician, and then they all can show up at 3 o'clock and go to football practice. Right now, it's like, oh, if you're an alternative school kid, like you almost can't play sports. You're definitely not going to have lunch with your friends. Like, and you're like, well, this sucks. Like I'm ostracized because I want to be a plumber, electrician, or whatever.
100%.
So,
Yeah.
and so I think it's a broken model in public ed to like say no, we can. There's no reason we shouldn't have all this stuff under one roof, and get
It's
all these
funny,
kids to be there. Yeah,
funny you say that. I was out at Temple University a month or two ago and was doing this AI leader certification thing.
yeah,
And this topic came up because they're like, well, what's even, you're talking about high school, but I think where they're worried about directly translates into high school discussion because they're like, well, online courses that can be handled now by AI. So what's the
yeah,
future of those prof jobs?
yeah,
And then when they start talking about high school, it's like, if we're worried about this first level skill that AI will replace, how do you actually gain experience? So I think that's going to be an interesting, like, how's that actually going to work?
yeah.
Because technology will replace what is normally experiential learning, and you need someone to validate the technology. So what does that look like? I think that's an interesting topic they were talking about. And then on the high school front, it was what are counselors now saying? Because it used to be what you said.
Yeah.
You study hard so you can go to college, earn a good whatever. And I think trade conversations are going to emerge in a big way.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know how AI is going to put plumbing in a brand new build of a house. So I think there's some realities that we're going to see over the next few years that's going to change some of those dynamics. But
Well, it's just a desperate need. I mean, I've seen it for the last like decade plus in like in the Midwest in manufacturing, begging for skilled trades, like literally paying 75-year-olds to like stay like tool and die makers. I mean, and trying to prop them up because it's like nobody else would go into those professions. Like it's crazy, like how like back, I actually talk to manufacturers now that have to go to China to get their tooling done because there's not enough tool makers here in the United States to even make their tooling. Like, and you're like, it's crazy to me that we've gotten to that point, but it's just a reality of the system we're in.
yeah,
Um, I'll get you out of here on this one. You were talking about like AI. We've talked about like technology and all this. When you think about this journey of hire to fully functioning, even getting better employee, where do you see AI having the biggest impact for like I guess a frontline hiring type of situation?
yeah. Um, I think there's the focus we have right now is just on how, like I mentioned earlier, is just this time to contact scenario. But I think where it
Yeah,
grows from there is, we're looking at how do we ensure that people we're passing that quote kind of rate higher
yeah,
are actually the ones that are getting hired at a higher rate.
yeah,
So it's an experiment, and I don't know if
yeah,
it's going to prove out, but we're experimenting. The next logical thing is how do we get those higher bucketed there faster?
yeah,
So we may set some auto interviewing, things like that. So I think there's this natural course. I my my thing is looking at, I'm not fearful of regulation and fearful of technology. I mean, I've been a
It's
technologist,
gonna,
I've been SE
well,
forever.
we always work it. We work. It works itself out because we'll design process around whatever we get
Yeah,
thrown in front of us, right?
100%.
Yeah.
But I think it's like I have a little risk adverse nature, but it never
Yeah.
stops me. So I'm just more worried about the common sense things we do. And the things that I'm running into is where, and I think, I don't know if I mentioned this, maybe in last time we met, I
Yeah.
mentioned this concept of artificial expertise.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the one that scares me because I have folks outside of the domain, our TA domain, going, I built this agent that can help parse out resumes, and it's just
Yeah.
fraught with bias and all these things because they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I think there's this, I typed it in, I read it, therefore I'm an expert. I think that's just so dangerous. So
Yeah.
I've been more like paying attention to the things that are emerging around and below me more than what I'm trying to do, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the resume match to job description is a great example of crazy to me because it's human dependent on how good a job description was written to begin with. Because you're only going to
So
match
many,
a crazy
so
person.
many moving variables on it, right?
All
Yeah.
right. So, but I think, I'm a technology can solve for anything. It's like, what do you
Yeah.
really need to solve for? And I'm also pretty set on there still has to be, there will always be for discount because we have high integrity and we want to get to know people,
Yeah.
care about what they need, want, and that will always be a human interaction. So it'll be about getting them there faster,
Yeah.
but I don't see us replacing that dynamic.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we're going to see a lot of testing where people are. It's almost like this time to fill numbers are raised to zero. It's just like, hey, I can do all this tactical stuff to get them in front of the human to have the conversation, and also maybe deliver other signals, like whether that's personality stuff or job sample stuff or whatever, so that we're trying to, like you said, get those to hire people up higher and get in and hire a higher percentage of those people. I think that to me, that's kind of where directionally I think people
Yeah.
should spend their time, right? So
Agree. And the only watch I have above that is how much are we investing in that mode that, and maybe this is a different show, but I think there's just going to be this concept of open marketplace.
yeah,
We've already seen the death of the resume, all these things. I think AI is going to transform the connected nature of available jobs, things that suit, and they'll come to the candidate, not the other way around. And then all
yep.
of a sudden, what does that game look like?
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Um,
been having this conversation of like having your own career agent that's managing your career for you and bringing back like, hey, this job came open over here. Talked with their agent.
there it
we
is.
th- we think you're going to be a good fit. What do you think? And it's like all this stuff. Like because I don't like you and I having a job, whatever. Like if someone reaches out to us, that's like oh I'm not out searching for a job. But like should I always have somebody doing that for me? I think you should. And would I be willing to pay 12.99 a month to have my own career agent?
Yeah,
Probably, right? It's
yeah,
long like right next to my Netflix and Spotify subscription,
there it
whatever. Like,
is.
and so
You'll
I'm like, it
notice
had,
it'll pop up on your TV. You can make 50 cents more an hour. I mean, I literally, you think of, I was working with this startup, and their concept was very interesting. It was almost red finish.
yeah,
It's like you pull it up and it's just a map of your surrounding area, and it just had all of these hourly rates.
yeah,
Like, oh, I would want to make that. It's not that far from my house. You click
uh
on it,
huh,
and it shows you the job.
yeah. And
Like
no,
that
and all the
mindset
like,
shift is completely
yeah, and all the data shows like if you're going to hire hourly, you start from like a mile from your location. You just go out in 1 mile increments, like because you're more likely to retain, hire the closer they are to those jobs.
there.
It's
There
crazy.
it is. Because if you've got a good agent built, that's your self agent, and they're using a good LLM with technology that does associations, the first thing it's going to say is, I wouldn't take that job because it's going to cost you more in gas and it will take you to get there. Take this one instead.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah, it's worth the money.
Yeah. So
All right,
anyway,
Chris, where can people find you if they want to connect with you?
uh, LinkedIn, I'm Chris Bodlevic. Every Bodlevic in the United States I know personally. They're my family, so it's very easy to find. Very easy to find.
That's awesome. All right, everybody, that's Chris. Discount Tire. Check them out. Go buy your tires some discount. And that's another episode. We'll see you soon.
Appreciate it, brother. Take care.